Holland or Netherlands? That is our topic today. So, Shalita, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine and rather. So it's like it's going to be a very controversial topics, right?
Definitely, definitely. I will tell you why I choose this topic today
Yeah,
and how that how much impact that I faced on this matter.
yeah,
Uh, in 2020, I did a YouTube video about bike traditions in Netherlands, right?
okay,
So in that video, I called Netherlands Holland, which is one of familiar word to me because my grandma is a direct descendant from a British family. So she used to call this country Holland. So when I'm growing up as a kid, I heard Holland repeatedly as the name of this country and the people. We know that I knew that Dutch people are from Holland. So, when I am doing this video, I didn't think I should do a cross check about this name. I know that there are two names, Holland and Netherlands, but Charlita, I didn't do any research because it doesn't make sense to like do a research because in especially in where I grew up, there is a local language term which is close by with Holland,
yeah,
right? So then it is completely makes sense to call this country as Holland. So I used that word. It was a hit in Netherlands, and I think it became top 10 within top 10. I think number 8 trending video in Netherlands. So in the comment section is flooded with comments from Dutch people, especially the majority of Dutch people who is accusing me as an American kid who doesn't know about the European culture and making nonsense. So I was really
ah,
shocked, right?
yeah,
Why these people are telling this. So then they basically claim that Holland is not their country name, right? So, and this is just a couple of provinces in Netherlands. So it is completely unreasonable to call their country Holland. So then I did my research. So that's why I picked that topic because this is really interesting to many people, especially people who speak English, also people who live in UK and some other dominant countries like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and also other British colonies, because all of them probably call this country Holland occasionally, right?
yeah.
So Charlie, let's learn about Netherlands. Then we will find out why this country is also called Holland and what's all about that. So Charlie, open up
Yeah.
your expertise and tell us where is this country and what about this.
Yeah, obviously that the Netherlands, when we talk about Netherlands, that northwestern European nation, so it's got Germany to its east and Belgium to its south and across the water to the west and north. So you're looking at the UK, not too far by boat, but it's a small place. Like I mean, it is smaller than Sri Lanka, like
Yeah.
41,500 square kilometers. Like it's like twice the size of some town like New Jersey, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah.
So it's a spot on the map with all those coastlines and borders, and you know that they have that this naval legacy and all. But it
Mhm.
is very small country with
Yeah,
small
compared to the
population.
continental United States and their scaling,
Yeah,
they will feel it like a city more
city,
than a
yeah, like
country,
New
right?
Jersey,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
twice the size of New Jersey.
yeah.
So even if it is a very small country, they have some, you know, that even some they even surpassing bigger, much bigger nations with their
Yeah, yeah,
traditions, their history. So obviously, when we talk about Netherlands, this come to mind tulips and windmills and that some things that in the past of their history.
yeah.
So this country has long history. Few days ago we talked about Bhutan, but this
Yeah.
is like even older.
Yeah.
They have very strong and rich history when it's come to Netherlands people. They had these Celtic tribes, and about 2000 and 2000,
So
3000
these
years
are
ago.
we should categorize as Celtic, right? Not Vikings, right? Not
Not
Scandinavians, right?
Vikings. Not the Scandinavians, not Vikings. The Celtic and Germanic
Yeah.
tribes. So it's about around 2000 years ago.
Hmm.
That, however, that after few centuries, then Roman came, and they did their thing. That literally they are conquering parts of it and calling Germany inferior. It is basically like lower Germany.
Okay.
Because due to that its geological landscapes, they literally told them that lower German. So
Oh
they
yeah.
build forts and roads. That Roman thing they conquered, then they totally developed.
Yeah.
Mostly south part. They stayed with south part because. That Roman that when it's come to northern part, there are some swamps and all that weather, so they
Not the
stay
friendly
with.
time for the Romans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did their part at that period.
Yeah.
So that when let's go fast forward to the Middle East, because there lots happened in during Roman Empire. So they after when it's come to Middle East, they are like loosely tied to the Holy or Roman Empire. It was
Mhm.
really that still there's no such a thing called Netherlands or Holland or whatever. There are some parts, but after 13th century, that powerful dukes like Burgundy, they started to unite these places
Mhm.
and build a country that today we
Mostly
call.
city states, right?
City
Yeah.
state, mostly city states. They were like principalities, that's the
Principalities.
word.
Okay.
Lots of principalities, then they try to become a one nation. So after a few centuries, then another invasion came, Spanish Empire. So it is much bigger and much more influential. So they invade to this part of the country. Then after a few decades, then the Dutch people didn't like this. Obviously, they don't like that they live under Spain, because there was lots of taxes due to that religion reasons, because
Mhm.
Spain is very hardly hardcore Catholic,
Yeah.
and when it's come to Netherlands people, they are Protestants, so
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
was taxes and some discriminations and things like that.
Mhm.
And in 1568 there was a huge rebellion against this Spain Empire. They fought about 8 decades. 8 decades.
Mhm.
It's a long period of time. And
Yeah.
eventually, with these brutal, bloody wars, they became independent nation.
Yeah.
After in 1648, they got their independence. And this tiny nation, not just that independent nation, but also thrived. They survived and thrived. That is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
important part. And this small nation then built their own empire. So they
Yeah.
gained
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
independence and they built their own empire.
Mhm.
So literally the main reason for them to build this type of influential empire, because trade and ships. These people are really good at sailing and sailings, and when it's come to their golden age, they created this company named Dutch East India Company. We
Yeah.
are also known as the VOC, because we have lots of that things like plays and
I
stuffs
think,
like VOC.
Shalita, that is the foundation of the shareholder kind of companies that owned by a couple of investors who is putting money together and do business and share the profit. I think they invented that concept by forming this company, if I am not
Yeah,
wrong.
indeed. That it is that it's safe to say it is the world's first big corporation.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Like
Yeah,
that we like right now we are talking about Tesla, Coin, Apple, and things like that. But
yeah,
this one, that the VOC is the first. It is like international first big corporation.
hmm, hmm.
So they have this trade legacy like no other nation on earth. So these people, like they have this their own armies, their own ships and forts, and they like grabbing some parts of the world like Indonesia, even
Yeah.
part of Sri Lanka and Suriname, everywhere.
Yeah.
So they went everywhere, and this
I think
AMS.
we should do a series or maybe episode about Dutch and water, right? That
Yeah,
one should be
I mean,
talked differently, right? Separately.
yeah, Dutch and motor. That is great topic, Conrad.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, this is like that. There are we the saying, telling things like that. Born to rule,
yeah, yeah,
born
yeah,
to do that, born to do this. These people born to trade and sail.
yeah,
These people are literally made for war.
yeah, yeah,
So they really good at this thing. Yeah, that is why they, even if this it's a small nation, small population, they literally created, turned Amsterdam into world money hub.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
like the first ever financial hub in the world. So there was lots of trading, lots of conversations with other countries and foreign relations and everything,
yeah,
and stock changes, banks, the modern finance. It's safe to say modern finance based on this Amsterdam money hub.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
It is
and
quite surprising. The reason when we talk about the in the world scale, especially, we always think it is something that linking East and West. Maybe
yeah,
some city like Constantinople or something. Maybe Rome, right? So
yeah.
not in that side, especially the Netherlands. It's far from the region that we are, like Mediterranean Sea. So yeah, it is quite surprising. Definitely the skill of and it's purely the spirit of those people, Dutch people, right?
Indeed, indeed. It's very correct statement that this is not about something like that, their geolocation or their wealth or anything. This is
Yeah,
purely based on their talent and skills and their tradition.
yeah, yeah,
That is the only reason they turned Amsterdam into hub and turned Netherlands into empire. That
yeah,
is
yeah,
the only reason why it was their talent.
yeah.
So the thing is that even they created one of the biggest naval fleet on earth,
Mhm.
and they went everywhere. They even sometimes they surpassed the British heavy navy and all that, outpacing Spain and England, everything.
Yeah.
But the thing was that when it's come to 16th century,
Mhm.
that we all know that there are capacities for each nation.
Yeah,
For
yeah, yeah,
Netherlands, it was very small, as we mentioned earlier, so they couldn't keep up with the empires like Britain and France, people like that.
yeah,
So there was some conflicts between these nations. It happened in Sri Lanka even, that Brits came to Sri Lanka and they had some conflicts with the
I think,
Netherlands people.
Shaliza, in Netherlands, they have a disadvantage of being a part of a big continent. For
Yeah,
example, when we look at the British Isles, they are part of that community, but still they are surrounded by water. They are protected, right?
yeah, yeah, indeed.
So they didn't have that advantage. They are bordering with the land bordering with other countries, so it is really hard to keep it up, especially without big mountains or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, that's actually that's the thing, that it was like a curse, that geolocation
yeah,
to these people, that if they had the advantage of Brits or France or Portuguese people, then I think maybe they might create the biggest empire on earth.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
are that
definitely.
much talented, but unfortunately or
What is that
fortunately, we don't know
mountain?
the reason.
There is a mountain range, I think, I don't remember the name, which is separating the rest of the Europe and the Portuguese and the Spanish, the region.
Yeah. So
Right.
these mountains had some protection for these nations.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but that when it comes to Netherlands, the Netherlands, the name itself, and that lower Germany, according to that Romans, named this country because they are below sea level, most of the part in the country. So it
yeah,
was like very disadvantage when it's come
yeah,
to conquerors. It just gets very easy to invade this country.
yeah,
That's the thing. So that very reason, and the size of their mainland, Netherlands mainland, it was very hard to keep up with the Brits and France. They had much larger armies, much larger population, much larger advantage compared to Dutch people. So they took almost all colonies. But still, they have marks in Indonesia and Suriname. They still have this reputation and connection between some of those colonies.
But I think in Sri Lanka, in Colombo and Galle, in Colombo, we can see some of the buildings built by Dutch. I think one of the iconic places in Colombo. Also, in the southern Sri Lanka, we can see a massive fortress built by Dutch. So
Dutch, Galle Fort. Galle Fort is like that in near to that international cricket stadium. The thing is, it's eventually became a symbol of cricket nation. I mean, everybody when there's a test match, people talk about Netherlands. Netherlands not even playing at that match, but they talk about Netherlands and the architecture and things like that because that was their legacy.
Yeah, we will talk about that the water and Dutch because the reason, if you remember, if you can recall the information, there was a huge tsunami situation in 2004 in Sri Lanka, but when the other buildings are like collapsing to the ground, the Dutch fortress stand tall.
Yeah,
they survived without any big issues, right?
Yeah, it survived like that every modern day building was collapsed like cardboard or something, but this one show its remarkable resilience.
If someone could visit Sri Lanka one day, go to Galle, go look at the bus station and every building, like inside the land, inside the city, the fortress is walling between the sea and the city, but the fortress survived. Everything else inside the country disappeared.
It disappeared, and we have this real time evidence because all of those new buildings are built after 2004. Because they're due to the collapse.
True. I'll try to insert a couple of footages of these photos because I did a YouTube video there, so I have some files.
That's great.
So then we will go beyond that. So this is the matter. Why this country is called Holland? I think, if I'm not wrong, they dumped that official title, the name being used as the Holland, in very recently, 2020. Just 5 years back, at the time that I was getting that backlash, right? So, Shalita, let's explain. I think there's only one period in the history that this country was called Holland officially alone.
The thing is that telling Netherlands, like naming Netherlands as Holland is very offensive, to be honest. But unfortunately, we don't know everything in the world that where we. We are not going to do research for almost everything. But the thing like the calling Netherlands Holland is like calling that United. When we have a discussion about United States of America, if we remove the name United States of America and we rename it like Yankees or New York, then people in Texas will be furious. They might even search for us and our addresses and all because it is that offensive. This thing that calling Netherlands Holland is like the similar thing. But the thing is, it's not. It's not that bad. There are some justifiable reasons for this case.
That's what I wanted to highlight here because. Actually, the people from Netherlands especially Dutch people should understand our perspective. For example, in continental United States, if you ask an American tourist, where are you from? Probably he or she will never tell you that he or she is from United States. Instead, they will say, I'm from California, I'm from Texas, I'm from Oregon, something like that. So that's the mindset of that country. So it is different from region to region.
Because the thing is that they have this independence for each states and they take pride in it. For example, the Texas people have their own legacy and pride about their Texas values.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
things like that.
So the people like them, maybe even in UK, in British Isles, people from Wales often say we are Walish, we are Irish, we are Scottish, so like that. So in this country, in Netherlands, it is completely opposite. That is the
Yeah.
problem. So Sharita, let's reveal why this is being called Holland, and was it official at one point of the history? I think it is. So let's talk about that. Our major highlight of this program.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. For the first, I want to tell that it is official. It was official, to be honest. That during 17th century, it called Holland. I mean, it was official. It had this official title, and even when it's come until 2020, it was not much of a illegal thing. I mean, that it was there. Officially. So then after that they scrapped it because due to its offensiveness. The thing is that Netherlands is the country, but Holland is part of it. So it refers to two modern provinces like North Holland and South Holland, which are part of the country's west coastal area. So these provinces were once always part of the county Holland, and it was a separate county during this medieval era. They had a close tie. I already mentioned that they were part of Holy Roman Empire, so they named it Holland. That was the thing. That was a thing there back then. So the people eventually that these two part of this North Holland and South Holland is very important parts of the country. That is why people keep talking about this. Because during that I mentioned that these people are very good at sailing and trading and all. So all of these things happened in Amsterdam and Rotterdam. So these two cities drove global trade, and the thing is that everybody talked about Holland at that period. That we came from Holland. This is Holland. We did these trades in Holland, but and that this Dutch merchant didn't bother to correct it.
Yeah,
I
think at that time that national state idea isn't a very common thing. So people often try to introduce themselves from the region name, not the country name. So that's how it's became a popular one. So I think that it is what it is, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. That the thing is that they didn't wanted to obviously that, as you said, that there was no nationalistic view about that we are one nation or something. That these merchants and explorers just needed to do their businesses. They didn't bother at all. So that there are other states like Zealand, Friesland, and Limburg and all, and they don't identify with that. That is the issue. And when we talk about that population, that composition of population, that the entire population is about 18 million, 18.2 million, and only 7 million located in North Holland and South Holland. And 11 to 12 million people, that means about 63% of the population is located in the other provinces. That is why this is very offensive to the 63% of the population in Netherlands.
Okay. So that's a really a big deal, because they always felt that someone is calling Holland, so they are excluded from their own country. So it makes sense now. So I think I think even for very small time period, it was officially called Holland. I think maybe 4 years or something, right?
Yeah, about even nearly a decade. They call it Holland. Okay. Under
French Empire, right?
French Empire, Napoleonic era.
Okay. So that's how, if we refer the history, that's what we found. That's what you will find. So that's why this name is so popular and became a kind of a sensation all around the world, which is now returning to haunt some of their citizens, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so if I would like to apologize anyone who got offended by talking this, or in my other video that was on my other channel. But in WestView, we would like to explore the untouched areas, especially in the Western world, and try to give a narration, try to give insights. I think one of the famous YouTuber and communicator, ex-Vox journalist Johnny Harris, also telling the same thing, but he didn't specify these information that we have.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in a different video about Netherlands, he also said Holland or Netherlands, whatever they call, right? So that way. So he also, I think, got the same kind of a backlash from Dutch people. So anyway, we should definitely do some more episodes about Netherlands, but because this is quite a big deal when we look at the history of the world and their accomplishment throughout the history, also in today. Shalida,
Sure.
goodbye.
Sure.
Good week.
Sure.
We will
Sure,
see
brother.
you
Have a
in,
nice day.
the WestView again. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.